I'm Timothy Holder, and today I want to talk about John Tyler. John Tyler was the 10th President of the United States. He's the guy who took over when William Henry Harrison got sick and died 1 month into his presidency. So Tyler had almost a full 4 years in office, and he was amazingly unpopular. He was so unpopular that his entire cabinet quit on him. He was so disliked that the Whig Party that Tyler belonged to decided they didn't want him to be in the party anymore, even though he was the sitting president of the United States. Now, after Tyler finished his time in office, he went home to Virginia, and his neighbors elected him to be the overseer of roads, or some title like that. And so that meant that Tyler was going to be responsible for road construction in his county. And, you know, there's nothing dishonorable about being in charge of road construction, unless maybe you've been president of the United States for 4 years, and then you might look at it as kind of a step down. And that was actually how Tyler's neighbors wanted him to look at it. They didn't like him, and this was designed to humiliate him. Oh, you've gone from being in charge of the federal government or the executive branch to being in charge of road construction. So they wanted it to be an insult. So Tyler decided, okay, you want me to be in charge of roads? I'll be in charge of roads. And he decided that he was going to construct a whole bunch of new roads in his county. Now, that was his job. He was empowered to do that. And what that also meant was he had the authority to commandeer local slaves and force them to serve in his road construction crews. And so the slaves weren't too thrilled about that, and neither were their owners, because obviously that meant that they wouldn't be available to do work on the plantations. And so these owners begged Tyler to stop what he was doing, but he just wouldn't, because that's the kind of guy he was. And so the moral of the story is, don't mess with jerks. As we go through life, we're going to encounter them. Let's try not to mess with them. Instead, what we could do is we could choose joy.